What's going on, guys? Welcome. Today we are with Brodi. We're at the Ohso Brewery and Distillery. Today we're going to be making some high alcoholic content beer.
Yep.
And we are going to start with
milling.
I almost said meeting. We're going to start with milling, so tell us about the whole process. I have no idea about anything that happens.
Right. Well, with beer, the first ingredient that we are going to be using today is grain. Okay. And in order to use it, we need to mill it. Mill's just going to crack the exterior shell and expose the interior endosperm and other parts of it so that when we mix it with hot water in our mash tun here, we'll be able to extract the sugars and starches and enact the different conversions going on within those. So we're going to crack some grain, mix in some water, and have a good time.
Dumb it down for me. Just say, hey, we're going to put this in here. It's going to do this.
Yeah.
All right, gotcha.
Make an oatmeal.
Lead the way.
All right.
Show me how this is done.
Here we have the mill, and this is basically going to allow us to dump all of our grain in. We're going to use about 800 pounds initially, and then another 800 pounds later in the day. So about 1,600 pounds of grain to make only about 300 gallons of beer.
I was just gonna say, like, how many gallons of it? That's a lot.
Yeah. But
that's like a conversion rate is ridiculous.
Yeah. But using that much grain will let us get that high alcohol that we're looking for. Normally.
So then, what makes the high alcoholic content? Is it because I know, like, I remember watching like old school Budweiser commercials where they're like smelling hops.
Yep.
What's that?
Hops don't affect the alcohol. They're mostly used for flavor and preservative qualities. We first initiate the chain disc, which starts the rotation of it's basically a chain with discs on it.
And like little scoops or something?
Yeah, when it mills the grain, it'll fall down into a trap, and then it'll just pull it through.
Okay.
Up and over our mash tun, dump it into our hopper, which will be a holding vessel for it while we're getting ready. And then once everything's milled and in there, we'll go over and we'll start the mash.
Gotcha. Okay.
We just finished our mill. We got all the grain cracked and up into our hopper, and we're about to start the mash. And here at Ohso, we use all reverse osmosis water. So basically, we strip it down basically to nothing, and then build it back to our specifications we want. And that allows us to change it per beer. So if we're making a dark beer, we use a little bit different water profile than a light beer.
All the grain that we just cracked is in there.
Yeah.
And then it's just gonna like.
Right, it just
funnels
in. It gets mixed with hot water in that last little apparatus there.
Okay.
So it comes out as kind of a porridge, and then it drops into here, and then we'll be able to mix it up and make sure that it stays consistent as we mash in. It'll take about 15-20 minutes to mix it all together.
Gotcha.
By the end of it, this whole thing will be filled with a giant pot of oatmeal.
Oh, that sounds really big. Hello?
Yeah. This is the kettle. This is where eventually we'll boil the beer, but we're going to use this water to heat sterilize all of our piping and everything that is
Dude, that's cool.
So this will go in here. It's heating up now. Our burner's on. And once it gets to about 180 degrees, we'll circulate it through our whole system. And then at that contact time, at that temperature, we'll sterilize anything that comes.
Gotcha.
You'll definitely start to smell it though.
I can smell it right now.
Yeah, it kind of has that oatmeal-y, malt oatmeal kind of
It
aroma.
smells like grains.
Yep.
That's insane.
And I can tell the consistency is nice. It's like a nice thick porridge, almost oatmeal-y texture, which is good.
So how long have those barrels been sitting up there?
Some of them got filled last week, and some of them have been there for close to 6 months.
How long are they going to stay up there? Like
we
a year?
typically don't go much longer than 6 months.
Gotcha.
Currently. So yeah, as we're going throughout the brew, we need to make sure that everything's in spec. You know, those salts we added and everything to kind of control the pH. We want to double check and make sure that they did their job.
Right.
So we have our trusty pH meter here, and it's going to tell us what we're sitting at here with our solution. You can see, ideally we're looking at around 5.2, which, I mean, we're not quite there.
Yeah, 5.1, you know what, we're done.
But give it a stir.
No, we're done. You can't get 5.2? Unacceptable.
Dump the batch, I guess.
Dump it, we're done. Shut it down.
You available tomorrow? Because we might have to reshoot this. I'm not sure. But yeah, so basically, that's within reason for us. We'll also check the gravity here. This is our trusty electronic refractometer, which is a fancy word for just kind of tells you how much sugar is in there. We're looking at about 18.6
gravities.
It's actually bricks. This is usually used for wine.
Right.
So we have our chart here that tells us at 18.6, we're looking at 19.3 Plato, which is the same as a 1080 gravity.
So you said Plato, I thought of malleable compound.
Right.
Number one. Number two, it's at 1080. I was like, okay, so we're recording in 1080. I got it.
1080p, Plato, it all ties together, I guess. But yeah, basically everything's looking good so far. We just completed what we call the Vorlauf, which is where we just recirculate the liquid that was in the mash tun, pump it over the top, kind of make sure everything's extracted, it mixed in well.
Right.
And now that that's kind of completed, we're going to start running the wort is what it's now called, the sugar water, into our kettle, and we'll fire up the burner and we'll get that thing boiling, and then that's kind of the next step in the whole process is getting it to a boil.
Let's do it.
All right.
Sugar water. What happened if I open this?
Then a lot of things would come out. A few tons of goopy grains.
Can I open it and you slide through?
We will open it eventually. To get the grain out, actually, these tubs right here, we have to wheel them right here, pop this thing open, and then we basically rake all the spent grain out after the liquid's drained.
So a thing that's awesome about these guys is they actually take their old wheat and whatever's in here, the barley and stuff, and they donate it to a local farmer to actually give it to his pigs. So they're not wasting anything, which I think is awesome. Can I be doing anything?
Just making sure I'm safe.
Okay, you good?
A good spot.
You're safe.
Yeah, we're basically just hooking up this.
I could have did that.
To our kettle.
I could have did that. You took away my job.
That's true.
Thank you.
I just didn't know how to explain it.
Just move the hose. And then this process is going to take how long?
This will take about an hour to move all the liquid in here.
Okay.
We'll also add a little bit more hot water on top. It's called a sparge. And it'll collect any sugars that were left over from the initial process. Okay.
So it's going from here into this pump. It's pumping up, pumping over, pumping into here.
And then
so we're done with all the wheat and barley and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We've taken all of the nutrients basically out of it.
Everything we need for our beer.
It's in this liquid.
Yes.
Ding, and then you put it in the boil kettle, and then what happens after the boil kettle?
The boil kettle it's going to go in here to boil, and typically a boil would last anywhere from 60 minutes to maybe 2 hours. But today, in order to concentrate our sugars to the point where we'll get the alcohol we need, we're going to boil it for upwards of 8 hours. So that's kind of why this process takes a lot longer than normal days. This thing will just be constantly boiling water out of it, concentrating everything inside there, and just giving us a really viscous, thick extract that will then turn into high alcohol beer.
All right, so I have a couple questions here from Instagram. I made a post. Be sure to follow me on Instagram so that way you can ask questions to whoever I'm doing this with. You have a question from It's Buds. Says, how does one get into being a master brewer?
The easiest, most accessible way for somebody would be to start home brewing. Okay. It's a liberty we have as Americans to make beer in your own house. Thanks to some more recent law changes in the past couple decades. But yeah, just go to your local home brew store, ask them what you need to get started. They'll probably start you with some kind of kit or something fairly easy.
I've seen a couple of those kits.
Right, and just start that way. Start reading some of the literature out there. There's a ton of good books put out by the Brewers Association publications. and just start reading and start doing, and through experience, you're gonna get everything you need.
I was gonna say, is it more like a hands-on learning type thing? You're like, oh, well, I cooked it too long at this temperature. It tastes burned.
Right.
Or is it more along the lines of like a reading, hey, I shouldn't do it this way, or is it like a mixture?
It's definitely a mixture. I'd say, personally, I learned more from doing it hands-on.
Right.
You can read about it, and you can learn about it that way, but really, it's not gonna soak in until you actually do it yourself. Till you mess it up, and then you learn why it's messed up. And you know, it's always good reference to go look at the books, and they'll give you good information, but the hands-on experience is really what's gonna help you get to that level.
Gotcha. The next question from the Tessie man said, why did he want to become one? So why did you want to become a master brewer?
So I went to school for engineering back in Iowa State University, and after school I knew I wanted to get involved in something a little different. I was looking to start with a startup company, and I actually minored in beer consumption in college, so
is that like a real thing
in Iowa,
or is that like a joke? I hear like
it's
beer
not
consumption.
official. They don't officially list it as a minor, but
it's like a legit class.
No, it's not.
Oh, I was gonna say, I was like, I was like, that's a real thing.
I definitely put my hours in.
Okay.
No doubt. But I had an opportunity with a small startup brewery right out of school, and it started with them, not really knowing a ton about beer besides the fact that I liked it and I wanted to know more about it, and it really just kind of clicked for me. And it's that right blend of math and science and kind of creativity and hands-on. So it really just kind of turned into something I wanted to pursue. And
heck yeah, man!
It's been about 9 years since that. So
yeah, I would definitely call you a master brewer.
Yeah,
that's a long time.
I've brewed a lot of batches. So.
That's a long time to be doing anything. So if you guys want to go ahead and check out what it is that they do, where can they find OHSO on Instagram/Facebook?
Yeah, we're OHSO Gilbert at this location. So on Instagram, it'll be OHSO Brewery _Gilbert.
Okay.
On Facebook, OHSO Brewery -Gilbert.
Okay.
We also have other locations around the metro. You'll find them on there. I'm sure if you go OHSO Brewery, you'll see the other ones pop up as well.
Gotcha. So. And then, do you post anything alcohol related? Do you post like brewing stuff? So how do people find you?
My personal Instagram is Brodi Song. My name's Brodi. So it's BRODISAN.
Okay.
I post a lot about brewing, also my lifestyle, and living in Arizona. So
okay. That seems interesting. Go check them out.
Stop on in and see us. We're always happy to give you a quick tour, show you around, answer any questions you have.
February, you guys have something coming up. So we're coming back to do like the barreling process. So if you guys have not subscribed, be sure to do so right now. Be sure to give this video a like if you liked it. That way we can keep doing stuff like this, because I definitely learned a lot today. Huge thanks to Brodi and for OHSO to actually let us come in here, take a look, and see exactly how this stuff is made. It was awesome. I super appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for coming out.
Join us next time on What Zach Does.
Cheers.